welcome everyone to After Hours Gaming League's tournament. We are in week 3, and we're going to be seeing a game played between Indigo and Aptima. Now, let's start this game off with some introductions. First of all, my name's Desifresh, and how you guys doing? Well, on the blue team, we're going to be seeing Indigo. In that top lane, it's going to be Hand Banana on Lissandra. In the jungle, it's going to be the Rainmaker on Jarvan the Fourth. In that mid lane, it's going to be Dude Watch on Riven. And that bottom lane is going to be made up of Pilot playing Jinx and Mustard Lord playing Leona. Clearly, he loves mustard. Then, on the red team, it's going to be Aptima. In that top lane, it's going to be RVTR playing Trundle. That's a pick we don't see really often. Then, in the jungle, it's going to be Athos19 playing Pantheon. Then, in that mid lane, it's going to be IDGAF on Morgana. And that bottom lane is going to be a combo of Caitlyn and Nami, played by Igloo and Theogrin. So, hopefully we get a great match out of these guys and some pretty interesting picks. Like we said, Riven mid lane especially, you don't really see that very often, and you really saw a lot of that near the end of Season 3 when Faker kind of was playing it heavily while on the NA server. I don't believe there was any other point after that. There may have been some stray games here and there, but nothing that would come to mind. And then you see that Trundle pick played by RVTR. Now, you usually see Trundle primarily played in a jungle position, so seeing him in that top lane, he doesn't do too terribly. And against a pokey champion like Lissandra, who has the ability to just poke him out, his sustain should keep him in that lane fairly, not healthy, but it should keep him in the lane longer than other champions who don't really have that privilege. And already, RVTR is not having the greatest time in that top lane. But neither is IDGAF. The Ignite's going to go down on to Dudwa. Ignite being used by him as well. They're just going to be trading those magic fires from their hand and walking away from that. Igloo going to be caught out by the Zenith Blade. Pile up, popping the rockets. He needs to go over to those miniguns for him. And then in that mid lane, looks as though Riven was able to get that duel out onto Idgaf, and he is going to fall to him. And you really do not want a Riven to get out of hand. This is going to be a huge problem if the kills continue to go over to him. Let's actually lower the volume a bit because it's a bit too loud. There we go. And right now, Pileup is just going to be poking out Igloo. It's not looking too good for him. Right now the CS is even, and he actually hasn't popped his pot yet, which is fairly strange. I think he's just going to be allowing Theogrin to heal him up with the ebb and flow. We actually do see Nami picking up. Oh, Xenoblade going to be locking down onto the Caitlyn, and the auto attack coming out from Jinx, and the flash actually used by Mustard Lord to secure the kill. Really well played by that Indigo team, taking advantage of the fact that Igloo just didn't heal up at all. And again, in that top lane, Athos stunning up Hand Banana before he could jump to that claw. Flash is coming out all around in that top lane, and they're just going to give that kill over to RVTR. And that should help him quite a bit. Now he'll go back and pick up a magic resist item just to help him sustain against that Lissandra. We already see 2 Doran's Blades in her inventory. Hopefully we'll see something nice. Right now, Theogrin looks to be dealing out Pileup, and Pileup is actually taking quite a bit of minion damage. If Theogrin turned around, he could actually 1v1. Why are you not 1v1ing, man? You can do it! And there it is, finally! Theogrin takes a kill onto Pileup, and that was just a huge misplay by both of those players, but especially from Pileup. If Pileup cannot fight anyone, let me rephrase that. No one can fight anyone this early into the game and behind the enemy minions. They just do way too much damage uh, to even make that possibility. And Theogrin, what he should have done is, once he realized that Pilot was going to commit, he should have immediately started to duel him out. Because when you have an excess of minions just continually hitting the enemy champion that you're dueling against, you're going to be winning every single time. There's just no situation that I can see where it would not work out. Igloo now, he's been caught out by that Zenith Blade, and he's taken quite a bit of damage already. Just walking into that lane is not looking too good for him. Right now, Dude Watt is going to be going in. I don't give a fuck. Ooh, my bad, guys. IDGAF, IDGAF. My bad. IDGAF. Just going to throw out that Dark Binding. It is just be able to walk away from that. Broken Wing's going to be used. There's the EQ combo. It's not going to get the knock-up. The Ignite will be taken, and that kill's just going to be going over to the Rainmaker. And that is just going to continue letting the Riven loose. Right now, Pantheon looking for something, but just too far away to get that stun. He'll just be walking away from that. We do see Jarvan, though. He's going to be coming in for the gank. The Aqua Prison does land onto Mustard. Lord Igloo, though, is going to get... No, he's not going to get knocked up. Pileup will have the auto attack to secure the kill, though. And meanwhile, in that river, we're going to be seeing Athos being caught out by Dudewat. The ultimate is there. Whittle and Slash come out. Athos is healthy enough to survive the execution. He'll be able to walk away from that. But Dudewat, he's going to look for a kill on to Theogrin. He's not going to be met with it. Instead, he'll be met with a flash of light. Because Theogrin flashed away. Athos. Ooh, playing with fire right now. A ward going down. He didn't check the bush. Because that is where the Pantheon was. Just the ward there to stop him from taking that blue. Two kills. Down for that Morgana. There's blue buff just spawning. Not a lot of defensive wards around behind that bush. He's more afraid of Rainmaker taking that away. He is spotted out right now. He needs to bring it out. There's no way that he's going to go for it. He goes in. Athos already so low. There is the teleport coming out from the Trundle RBTR. Still at full health. He's going to be joining the fight, taking that blue buff away. But Dudewat will answer that with a kill. Can he escape? It does look as though he will. No, wait. There's the Cutlass active. Going to be used for the slow. Broken Wings going to be back up in a second. Unfortunately for him, RVTR had enough CC from Idgaf to lock him down in the form of a Dark Binding. Ooh. And that's just going to... That should help the Morgana quite a bit, even though she didn't get any gold from that. It should help out in her sustain. Igloo just going to sidestep the Jinx Rocket. It would not have killed her, but the healthier you are, the better. Both of those 80 carries do have Doran's Blades, but the only difference is Igloo picks up Brawler's Gloves, while Pileup, he actually gets Boots of Speed. So, I like it. It's going to help him quite a bit in dodging out the Aqua Prisons that come out from Theogrin. And it just gives him a little extra mobility in that lane, something you desperately need. And when Mustard Lord does use that Zenith Blade, it'll allow him to close the gap a little bit faster. Rainmaker taking that red buff away. Well, it was his own red buff, so it's not really taken away. It's just securing the red buff. But Igloo taking the Zenith Blade, just immediately flashing away. The zap will be there. He doesn't have ultimate. The Pileup won't be able to secure a kill. There it is, level 6 finally going to be hit by Igloo. Right now, Theogrin is level 6 as well, but he is dangerously low on mana. Can't afford another ultimate. There it is, Athos trying to go in for that gank. He actually did use that Grand Skyfall, but the 'Rainmaker will be there to counter out and head banana. gonna just force him. Gonna be forced away by RVTR. Just gonna be continue to farm up. Gonna continue farming up in that lane. Hand Banana does have a nice lead, up by 20. So the 2 kills that he has, those should even it out. We'd actually check right. Yeah, it's actually putting him ahead. So the 1 kill should be about 15, 20 minions. So he is a little bit ahead in that lane. I'm surprised he hasn't actually opted for more magic resist in his build. Something that you'll desperately need against Hand Banana. Once she decides to go in on him, that's going to be a lot of damage that he needs to defend against. Right now, she's just poking him out. Right now, Pile Up trying to go for the kill and just straight to the face. There's a Super Mega Death Rocket to give herself a kill. Right now, Igloo's not looking too good. At the 11-minute mark, he only has 39 CS. And there it is, Mustard Lord going in onto Theogrin. He's going to be tasting the sun by that Solar Flare. Pile Up, forced to use the heal, and he doesn't get the kill, just flashing out of tower range. And I'm not too sure what just happened. Mustard Lord was taking up that tower, but then he walked out of the range, forcing his AD carry to take that aggression. A bit of a misplay on their part. Thankfully, it didn't really mean anything besides the flash and actually the heal out of Pile Up. So it actually does put them cool, not too behind, but just some spells that they didn't really want to use. And Igloo actually forced to get a Avarice Blade. She needs some form of gold income, and I kind of see where she's going with that. She knows that she's gonna lose in that lane if she even walks near that Jinx and Leona. So by picking up the Avarice Blade, it's gonna set her behind, but over time she should be able to make it worth it and hopefully come out with a profit. We'll have to see what she builds for that. Right now, Mustard Lord looking for something. Xenoblade Blade will land. Aqua Prison just going to be sidestepped away. Solar Flare was not available at that time. He should have waited a little bit longer and actually could have secured a kill. Right now, Idgaf just trying to farm up the wave with the Tormented Soil. He cannot walk anywhere near that Riven. 2-1-1, and with a Tiamat, she'll just be melting through that Morgana. Right now, I'm surprised that we're not seeing Pantheon be a little bit more aggressive. Oh, Xenoblade's going to be landing down into that bottom lane. Zap will as well. There's the Super Mega Death Rocket to chunk her down low, but it's not going to secure a kill. Theogrin throwing that exhaust straight onto the Jinx. Here comes the Grand Skyfall from Pantheon, getting that stun down onto a Pile Up. The teleport going to be coming out from RVTR as well to assist his allies, and they're going to be picking up 2 kills in that bottom lane, and they will take a tower from this as well, since they know Jarvan and the Smite is in that top lane. We do see Dudewat looking for something on the sidelines. This is 5 members of that red team taking that dragon. There's nothing that Dudewat can do, realizing that he'll just back away from that position. But Rainmaker and Hand Banana, they realize what kind of position they're in, and they're just going to continue pushing, and they actually take 2 towers compared to the dragon that the Aptima team got, and I think that's definitely worth it for them. They get so much map pressure with that, as well as a nice boost to gold. Since Dragon doesn't give gold anymore, the Aptima team, they're going to have to make do with 6% to their AD and AP. So I think that's a great trade-off for them, and it extends their lead. And now Mustard Lord just going to catch out Theogrin. The Aqua Prison will not land, but there is the Solar Flare to chunk them down, and the Super Mega Death Rocket. The resets are going to start coming out. The Wind Slash will not be able to do too much, but it doesn't matter because Idgaf is going to be falling to Pile Up and a zap coming out from him will give him a double kill as well. And they're just going to continue taking the towers and increasing their lead from 3-0 to 4-0. Can they continue pushing on though? It's only the Caitlyn to defend this. It doesn't look as though it can come after him. Jinx is just going to be melting through these towers, and Dudewat gets the stun onto Igloo. He's going to get it. The Ignite is ticking, and it is the pick up a kill onto Igloo. This Indigo team, they are just taking advantage of every single mistake the Aptima team is making. And I like this build coming out from Rainmaker. He realizes his role for his team, and despite them being so far ahead, he's not going to even opt for a second damage item in the form of a brutalizer. He's just going to go straight tank because he knows that the Lissandra, the Jinx, and the Riven are all the damage they need. Building an extra damage item will just sacrifice sustain in a fight. So a nice call by him. Right now, on Athos, he's building something out of a Vampiric Scepter, and he needs exactly what the Rainmaker is building. He needs tankiness for his team. RVTR, he takes the tower in that top lane, but it's going to mean his death. Meanwhile, Pileup and Mustard continuing the trend. They'll take those two towers in that bottom lane. First one fell quite a bit before, but this one finally falls as well, and they're going to be aggressing upon Athos' jungle. The flash comes out, but it's not going to get him across that wall. He'll be falling to Dudewat. There's not too much that the Aptima team can do. 17 minutes into the game, and they're already forced into their base. They need to just put out some vision coverage, and the pick potential that they have is fairly strong. Unfortunately for them, it's equally as strong on the Indigo team. That's what we need to watch out for. There's the Grand Skycall coming out from Athos, but it's not really going to mean anything. He'll just be throwing out that spear shot to get the kill. They're trying to go for something, but they need something like a Talisman of Ascension to catch up. Or Righteous Glory would be a great pickup. There's just something to catch up to the enemy team, because as it is, they're so mobile with the Riven, a Jarvan, and Lissandra. The only people that don't really have some form of escape is Leona and Jinx. One of those has the Flame Chompers, which will essentially force them to go in a path that's not really efficient, forcing them to lose out on distance. And the other one's just a tank. She will take all of the damage that you send out, and even if you do catch up to her, she'll just put the sunlight stacks on you, and her team will turn around and blow you up. It's just, they need something to catch up to that back line. Well, Riven would technically be front line, but they just need something to catch up to her. And now, the Dragon's going to be up in 50 seconds. Hopefully, the Aptima team can pick this up, because they need something. It's not going to give gold, but it's going to give them a couple of stats. The teleport coming out from RVTR, but he's going to be locked down by the enemy team. Flame Chomper's going to be thrown down as well, along with the Solar Flare. Caitlyn is on that backside to just pound down on the enemy team, but it's not going to secure a kill. Jinx just getting these resets one after another. There's Jarvan taking a kill, just giving herself a lot of extra movement speed. RVTR looking to get that kill, but it's going to mean a triple kill over to Pileup. Now, Idgaf is going to have to escape. The Frozen Tomb is going to be going down onto him. One more auto attack will mean a kill. And it's actually going to go over to Hand Banana. That's going to be an ace for the Indigo team. and this is also going to mean a dragon for themselves as well. They need to realize that it's up. They see that it's up. I'm just surprised that they're not going for it. Rainmaker won't be the one tanking it up, though. I think it'll be Pile Up tanking it up. They'll just be taking that for themselves. Now, there's no way that they'll be able to take it. That's a dragon going over to the Indigo team. First one for themselves. Second one of the game. Pile Up actually going to continue with the aggression, taking away Aptima's blue buff. They're going to be met with a very, very sad sight. They'll be met only by death. Right now, Jinx does have a nice power spike, finishing up that static shiv, and she's already 2 items at the 20-minute mark. That's a huge, huge milestone, with Igloo not even finishing up a single item. She has a BF sword, a Vamp Scepter, and an Avarice Blade. So building 3 items out at the same time. Well, actually that could be a Bloodthirster. That'd be a really strange thing to see. You usually see an Infinity Edge being the first item. Lifesteal is not really something that a lot of AD carries prioritize at the moment. But with the nerf to Infinity Edge, it may be something that he considered. And Lissandra, gonna be met by 3 members. He's just gonna throw down the ultimate down onto himself. Jinx will be there for the backup. There's a stun going down onto Nami. Pile Up, though, will try and get the kill. Actually, sorry, Pile Up gonna be caught out by Athos. The Grand Skyfall did do quite a bit of damage, but he wasn't able to secure the kill. He's actually gonna be falling himself. And the rest of the Indigo team, they take down that mid lane tower, and this inhibitor as well is going to fall. Meanwhile, in that bottom lane, we do see Dudewat just going to be pushing up in that bottom lane. They're just going to transfer over to that and take that. There is Mustard Lord going, and Xenoblade's going to be landing. Dudewat trying to join the fight. There is his ultimate going to be popped. The Wind Slash is going to be used, but it's not going to secure a kill. That's still 1 for 1 for these teams. RVTR and Athos going to be locked down. With the resets from Jinx, will just get these fight going over, but I think they're just going to back away. They'll be fine with a 2 for 1. They do take 2 inhibitor towers as well as an inhibitor in that mid lane. They'll be fine with the advantage they have. They're just going to back away for now. They have a really nice lead. We see Riven picking up after picking up the Hydra, she's just going to be building tank now. So she's kind of going for like a bruiser build and not a full glass cannon, which I really like. She knows that there's going to be a lot of damage directed towards her once she gets into the enemy's face. So getting some armor is going to help her a lot, especially because there is a lack of targeted magic damage. All she'll need to do is block the Dark Binding, and then the only thing she'll have to worry about in terms of magic damage would be the Soul Shackle. So getting armor is a great call by her. She's actually going to be finishing the Black Cleaver before finishing up the Randuins. So she knows that there's not too big of a threat. Meanwhile, Jinx, last time we saw her was 4 minutes ago, and she had no components of a Last Whisper, and now she's completed it. Meanwhile, Igloo hasn't really completed a first item just yet. We do see Idgaf working on a Zanya's Hourglass, but to be honest, that should have been the first item for herself. Right now, Mustard Lord trying to tank up. There is the Grand Skyfall going to be used straight onto it, but it's not going to be hitting any members. There is Mustard Lord. He's going to be taken fairly low, but Dudewat is just melting everyone along with Pile Up, just absolutely wreaking havoc. He's not able to secure the kill. RVTR will be the last surviving member of his team, but with super minions piling into the enemy base, they can actually win. I'm surprised that they're not taking down those Nexus towers. That's just a really that's a really strange call by the Indigo team. There was no one there to defend those Nexus towers. Oh, so they're gonna go for a Baron. They want to go for a really high decisive victory. And that pink one coming out a little bit too late. If the enemy team hadn't known, then they would have just immediately jumped over there. They did have really sufficient vision coverage, so there wasn't too much to fear, but better safe than sorry. They take that Baron, uncontested, and now I think this is just going to be the game deciding push. They go back and they get they go back and get not too many big items right now. Riven finishing up that, well, not really finishing up. She just picks up the Giant's Belt. We do see Jinx working on some sort of vamp item. He has the vamp scepter right there. Ooh, Igloo taken low by the Rainmaker. The Cataclysm will be there to give himself that kill. And now, Mustard Lord in that mid lane, joined by Pileup and Rainmaker, will be pushing out the game. Right now, Athos and RVTR is just, they're just farming up in that bottom lane. Dudewalk gonna try and burst him down. That's one kill. Wind Slash only good way to hitting the wind because it's not gonna do anything. But Pileup just gonna be getting resets, and he's gonna get a double kill for himself. Morgana trying to escape. The auto attack's coming out, but it's not gonna mean anything because Igloo tanks it up. But he can't tank up those rockets for too long. He's going to be falling, giving Pileup a triple kill. Zap will be there, but Igloo not going to get another one because, oh, not sorry, not Igloo, Indigo. Indigo ending the game at the 27-minute mark. So, really decisive game by Indigo. So please remember to like, follow, and subscribe to After Hours Gaming. All in the description. They're all in the description below. And remember to hit that subscribe button. So, see you guys next time. Stay tuned.